Luca Weston dumped in upscale London restaurant. Rockstar Luca Weston caught on camera arguing with on and off again boyfriend Calvin Klein model Jorge Rivera. As another scandal hits, BuzzFeed asks, has Luca Weston lost his way yet again? Have you seen the headlines? Yeah, I've seen them, I muttered into the phone. Jack, my bodyguard and driver, shot me a sympathetic look in the rearview mirror. I'd done little else but scroll through social media since I'd peeled my eyes open and seen the slew of notifications. It was the usual mix of gleeful vultures cawing over my very public humiliation, along with my actual fans expressing sorrow over my apparently broken heart. The fact it was perfectly intact was neither here nor there. My ego was bruised, but nothing more. But I hadn't been able to tear myself away from the vitriol until Jack bribed me into the car with a latte. It's not great. Not great. I could practically hear our manager, Kevin, boiling over. My eyes met Jack's again. Judging by the tense lines around his eyes, even Jack could hear Kevin's meltdown. That's the understatement of the fucking year, Luca. I sighed, my head dropping against the car window, the cool glass soothing the ache. What did you want me to do, Kevin? I tried to insist we go somewhere more private, but you know what a Jorge is like. No, the second he'd clocked the paparazzi, the quiet mutual discussion we'd been having about ending our arrangement had blown up into an all-out war. He'd ignored my pleas not to act up for the press, instead flinging his drink in my face. No idea what had been in that cocktail, but it had taken 2 showers to get all the sticky residue off my skin. Jorge's little display had worked exactly as he'd intended. Within moments, we'd had multiple phone cameras aimed at us, chronicling each second of my humiliation. Jorge revelled in the drama, his voice getting louder and louder as he accused me of everything under the sun. If I hadn't been internally dying of mortification, I might have been impressed. Really, he'd missed his calling with modelling. He was born to be an actor. Knowing anything I said would be twisted against me, I simply sat in silence until Jack managed to push his way through the crowd to extract me. We might not chat much, but I could count on my bodyguard to know the right moment to step in. Now, I was getting hauled over the coals by our manager. He was still yelling down the phone. As much as I tried to tune him out, phrases like, "You should have known better," and "fame-hungry whore" seemed to slip through. I closed my eyes. I hadn't been in love with Jorge. What we'd had barely constituted a friends-with-benefits situation. For that, we'd have to actually be friends, not just 2 guys who happened to fuck whenever they were in the same city because it was convenient. Ultimately, that had been the thing that had made me pull the plug. I hadn't been in love with Jorge, but I was ready to be. Not with him, obviously. He brought an unneeded level of drama to my already chaotic life. Fucking around with groupies and other celebrities had been fun in my early 20s, but at 34, I was ready to settle down. I was ready for more. I wanted the kind of love that led to Grammy Award-winning songs, the kind that left you feeling like you had a hole in your chest when you were apart from them, like you could finally breathe easy when they were near. Most importantly, I wanted to be with someone who wanted me. Luca, the guy who loved to cook Italian food and was obsessed with air crash investigation. The person who got up in the middle of the night to dash down song lyrics before running on a treadmill until he felt his lungs would burst. The man who could captivate an entire stadium, but would choose an audience of 1 every time. But that wasn't the Luca other guys wanted. They wanted the front man of Caffeine Daydreams, the guy who graced covers of magazines and had entire websites dedicated to his daily movements, the one who exuded confidence and sex appeal as easily as breathing. He wasn't real. That man they all lusted after didn't exist. But that didn't seem to matter to the men and women I took home with me. No one wanted to say they'd spent the evening snuggled in front of the TV when they could say they'd been fucked into the mattress by a rock star.
to keep listening to this audiobook. I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.